I didn't like bugs. I was not the outdoorsy type, so no, I did not expect to be a gardener. I was working 2 days a week at a local hospital and loved everything about it. And then 2 weeks to the day of my maternity leave ending, our childcare plan fell through. And so I had to put in my notice, which was pretty heartbreaking because I loved the work, I loved the patients and taking care of them, and I loved the nurses and doctors and pharmacists and techs that I got to work with every day. It was a really hard transition. There are very few accolades as a mom, especially with young kids. It's hard to realize your list is never going to end right now, and you just need to let go of some things, but also find things that fill you up. I couldn't necessarily face all the same to-dos and tasks inside, and so I found, a refuge outside. When Grace was about 2-3 years old, she'd go outside and then run in and bring me these beautiful flowers, which I realized were not our own flowers. And so she asked me, well, which flowers can I pick? And I realized I need to figure out how to plant some flowers. I started researching flowers that were easy and good for picking and ones that I was familiar with from my childhood, like echinacea, daisies. And in the process learned a little bit about, pollinator gardens and things that are good for this area. And I planned out this whole garden. I was so happy with it and bought the plants, put them in the ground, and then realized that in the summer when the leaves come out, like right after I planted all these things, it's in the shade most of the time. So Fairview Garden Center is great because all these ideas that I'd seen in books or online, Pinterest, they gave me so much advice. Someone with a smile on their face is always coming up to me every time I go there, and they're always asking me, every time I go, someone always asks me if I need help, if I have any questions. There's just something about the feeling at Fairview when I go there, and they would ask me, well, how many hours of sun does it get? Or is it morning sun or afternoon sun? And I would have to go back home. I didn't know. So these were just like basic questions, and I had to go and observe, which is good for me as a scientist. I can observe. It's been fun to try to edit a little bit of what I did at the beginning and I feel like it's a more cohesive garden instead of really sporadic. Started helping some friends do a couple of their yards, and then have had more and more people, kind of one after the other, reach out to me. And so I decided that I should start a small business. It's really fun to see other people then come back to me and say, oh my gosh, all the plants came back, the flowers are blooming, it looks great, I can't believe it. I think sometimes when you're an adult, you forget that truly every day is a gift. And if you're doing something that you don't love to do or isn't bringing value to yourself and other people, it's really not worth your time. You can have the most beautiful flower bloom today, and in a week it's going to be gone. And so just really cherishing that and celebrating that win, that accomplishment, that life that's there that you get to see right now. And it just makes you enjoy the time that you're given.